Okay, this is the start of the Valentine's cup. This is a 22 ounce, like a tapered, it's like a pint style cup. I have just a tiny bit of epoxy here, and I have Merica, which is just a beautiful red, no holographic, it's just a plain, gorgeous, shiny red. So we're gonna put this on here, we're gonna glitter it, and then we will go into our next step after that. Okay, I have open this up. See that red? Just gorgeous. So there's no holographic to this. It's just plain red. We're just gonna pour. What is on here? There we go. Okay, we're just gonna pour this on. Just doing a full coverage here. Okay, so just to recap, I had to work kind of quickly there because my epoxy was getting very hard. As you could see in the beginning, I was really trying to pull it down. But I had a lot of cups to do this morning. So anyways, what I wanted to let you know was this is a 22 ounce tapered style cup. It's like a pint glass, but just bigger. And so I sanded it, prepped it, sanded it, painted it red, like a satiny red finish. And then I put the epoxy, I heated up the cup with my heat gun, heated up the epoxy a little bit, and then I managed to get like 2 milliliters on here, which is what I had left from the epoxy that I was using this morning. So it is possible. You just have to, I just heated the cup up and heated the epoxy and just really worked it all the way down. And that's all you need, really. You don't want much more than that because you will get these like oil slicks. You'll see where it's like kind of flattened down and then kind of pulled up in certain places. So it's better if you use less epoxy. So, I mean, you don't have to get crazy and use just as much as I had, but it does work. So we used Merica. We dumped that all over here, and that's all we're gonna do. And hopefully, we're gonna put one coat of epoxy on here, and we're gonna dump our little hearts on here. There are little Valentine's hearts. We're gonna dump them on there, and then we're gonna put these cute emojis on here, and it's going to be a Valentine-esque cup. It's gonna be a lot of fun. So stay tuned. And we'll keep on going with the rest of the process. So sparkly. Okay, now we're going on to our next step. I'm going to be putting about 20 milliliters. I have a little bit left from the cups that I've been doing on this side here. So I'm going to put this on here. I'll, fast forward or do a time lapse on that. And then we are going to add our Valentine's hearts. These are from the Glitter Ranch, obviously. And this is the Valentine's 2 shapes. I put it in this little container so it was easier for me to pick them out. But we're going to be dropping them just in this ever so kind of like cascading pattern here. And I wanted them to be in the next layer of epoxy because I wanted them to kind of be, you know, elevated from this. I didn't want to put them on and then put the red. I wanted them to kind of stand out. So that's why we're doing that. So I'm going to put this epoxy on and then we'll drop the hearts. Okay, I have been putting the epoxy on here, and what I wanted to tell you was because this is just one color, I didn't put any kind of sealant on it because I don't really care. The glitter can move everywhere. But what I would suggest or make sure that if you are doing any other cups, that you do not want to do this before you do any of those others, or separate some epoxy from the rest of it. That's why I waited till I was pretty much done with my epoxy to use it for this particular one. It also is very thick right now, and I want it to even get a little bit thicker. I'm going to let it spin for a little bit longer before I put the hearts on there, because I don't want the hearts to travel, because they will travel up the cup. So I want them to cascade up a little bit, but I don't want them to be like completely to the top. So I'm going to let it kind of sit and do its thing and you know, gosh, I cannot think of the word. Even out. Anyways, and then let it get a little bit thicker. Then we'll add the hearts, because like I said, I want those hearts to kind of stay. I don't mind they move up just a little bit, but I kind of want just about right in this area where I want the hearts. I don't want them to go up any too farther. And also, if something does move up, I'm going to watch the cup for a while and move those hearts down and stuff like that. So we will go over that whenever we get to that point. But I wanted to take a moment out of the epoxying and let you know what I did there. So make sure you do this on the last cup, because you will have red glitter and everything. Unless you're doing a bunch of red glitter cups and you don't mind. But anyways, that's my little tip. But we'll be back to put on the hearts. Yay! Okay, I have had this spinning for probably 15 minutes or so, and the epoxy was already a little bit, you know, kind of hot and thick when I did. So I think it's at a nice moment. I have several other cups on this side over here that all these other cups that I'm doing right now. And so I did all those, and then now I'm ready. So because I wanted it thick, I wanted it kind of to stay in place, like we said. So I'm going to take my little hearts here. They're so cute. I've got paint and everything on my fingers. So sparkly and cute, all kinds of different colors. So we are just going to take just a pinch here like this. And I have a gloved hand because I want to be able to move. If they get a little out of sorts, I want to be able to move them. So I'm just going to take and just sprinkle them on. And I just want a good little representation. And then we'll probably move them. We'll have to move some around. And do as I say, not as I do. Make sure you put some kind of paper underneath so you don't lose all of your hearts like I was just doing. And they will move, they will migrate and spread all, spread apart and go up and that kind of thing. So, and this is where, what I think I'm going to do is, try to get the rest of these off my fingers here. I'm going to get just a little, spatula here, and I'm going to start spreading them out, bringing these down a little bit, and just kind of separating them where I see fit. Sometimes you can pause it or turn your machine off, your turner, I should say, motor, whatever you want to say. And we're just gonna, the epoxy's thick enough right now that you can kind of get away with, pausing it and separating them out. But, this right here is where you do what you want to do and what you think is good. But, so my thought in this, my image in my mind was when you, like something on Facebook and that, if you're like on a live and the hearts pop up and you put some hearts and they go bing, 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 So, because that's the theme, is the Facebook love and that kind of thing. So, I'm just separating, as much as I can. Obviously, you can't get them all, but like I just don't want big globs of them together, bunches of them together. And then I like bringing some of them kind of up, randomly, one or two here and there. So, because I didn't want it to be too Valentine's-y, but I wanted it to have more of like a love theme, like you could kind of use this cup anytime during the year. So we're just separating them. I'm just bringing a few up here and there. See how the epoxy is really thick right now, and that's kind of what you want. So if this is the only cup you're doing, I would set maybe like a timer, set a timer and then go to, do whatever you're doing and then come back a little later, when like 15, 20 minutes later. And so that's basically what I'm doing. They will continue to move, even though the epoxy is thick. They will still continue to migrate and move around. But I'm just giving it a little head start. These hearts I want to be facing up. So when I push them up, I don't want them to be upside down. So, but anyways, okay, now let's spin it and see. This is where I kind of like to spin and see where I might need to do some more. Oh, a lot of white hearts right there. But the red obviously isn't going to show too much because it is red. But I like just the little subtleness of those little red hearts and the pink. I think it's kind of cool. So got a little cluster here. But anyways, I won't bore you. This is totally up to you, how you want to do it. You want to fill it all up with hearts? That is totally fine too. There's plenty of them that come in this. It's a little 1 ounce jar, but I mean, there's plenty of them in there. I mean, so fun. So fun. Okay. I think I'm going to put just a few more right there. Just gonna bring these up. This is the kind of stuff that you want to make sure that you're looking at before it's finalized, and then you can't do anything about it. So if you're like, man, I wish I would have unclustered those, or I wish I would have put a little more hearts there, or something like that, that's when, you know, this is your opportunity to do that. So put a few more here. Because then you want, whoa, come back here. That's way too far up. I don't want to do that. That one looks like a funky, weird heart there. So, okay. Anyways, I won't bore y'all to death with this, but you get the point. You move them around, get them situated the way you want, and then set it to spin. And then I would just keep a watch on it. Make sure you keep a watch, because they will migrate, and you don't want to get to the end and then you have hearts all the way up to the top. So just keep a watch on it, and you'll have a beautiful, cute little heart cup. Okay, see you in the next step. Okay, you have reached the design space portion of this video. Now, we are going to achieve this look. I'm going to start a new project and bring it all in and show you exactly how we did this. So, we're going to start new. We're going to come in here to upload, and we are going to bring in our emojis. Now, we are going to need to separate this heart right here so that we can make it bigger. So my idea was that we would make it look as though when you click on it when you're on Facebook and you hit, you hover your mouse over the like button and all of these options pop up. And then if you go over the heart, it actually makes it bigger. So we're going to make this bigger, and we're going to put a love on top of it like this, so that basically what you're saying when you make the cup is that I'm hitting love for you for Valentine's. So that was kind of my thought behind it. So what we're going to do is create a little circle here, and we are going to make it the size of this little heart. Now we don't need it to be exact or anything like that. All we're going to do is sweep over this like this, and we are going to slice. Now the slice is going to give us these two pieces. We do not need those pieces. All we need is this heart right here. So we're going to click on this heart, and we're going to make it just ever so slightly bigger. And we're going to move right there, and we're going to sweep over all of it, and we are going to center vertically. So we want them to line up. So now we have our heart that is bigger and emphasized in this lineup here. I am going to play around with the size, and I may take these two off because this is a fun, loving cup, and I don't really want sad and angry on there. So I think what I'm going to do here is take these two off, and I'm just going to slice it I'm just going to go over that. I don't need the heart. It doesn't matter. You just need the two pieces here so that you can slice. Okay, now we're going to slice these off, and we're just going to get rid of all of that. And so this is what we're going to have on the cup.
Now we're going to go over here. Now, I played around with this for a little bit, and I was going to bring in like an oval, kind of squared off oval shape, but in the end, it's so small that I'm not going to worry about it too much. But we're going to zoom in just a little bit, and we're going to bring all this up here so we can see it. And what we're going to do here is we are going to bring in a text box, and we're going to type in love. Now, this font, I believe, is a font that everyone has. If you don't, this is what it is. Gill Sans MT condensed. And now this could be found on DeFont or anything like that, but I'm pretty sure most everybody has it. So I'm just going to squeeze the letters. I'm going to use the letter space arrow, and I'm going to go down, and I'm just going to squeeze the letters together just a little bit. And I'm going to unlock this, and I'm going to just make it a little bit more stretched, just to kind of mimic the look of the one that is on the actual Facebook. Okay, so we're going to do that. We're going to change this to black, and then we're going to change the square to black. So sorry. And then we're going to change our letters to white. Okay. Now we're going to sweep over both of these right here, and we're going to do a center. Now that just brings everything together. Now, this is what it looks like when you hover your mouse over the like button, and then all of these options come up. This heart gets bigger and a little love comes up. Now, that's the idea that I have for the Valentine's image. Now, what we're going to do here, because we want these to print and we want this to print, we're going to do a flatten, and that's just going to flatten it and make it one little piece that's going to print. So all of this is going to print, and so we can apply it on the cup. So we're going to leave everything like that. We're going to sweep over everything, and we're going to flatten everything together. So now that makes one full image. Now it is still going to cut this and this and this and this and this separately, but that's okay. You can put them on the cup easily, line them up. It's not a big deal. Now the cup that we're going to be using is, the cup that we have been using is a 22 ounce slim, which is more like a tapered pint size, and we're going to look at about a 3.5 inch wide there. So this is how big it's going to be when we put it on the cup. Now at the end, like I discussed in the beginning, we're going to be putting all of our hearts in here. Now you can very well print this all by itself and waste an entire paper, but I would encourage you to find something else that you want to print, maybe your logos or something like that. I always fill this space in with maybe a cup that I make all the time, or like my logos or the stickers that I put on my boxes when I mail them out, anything like that. You don't want to waste this space. That's just my little tip. You can take it or leave it. But anyways, that is how we did that. I hope that was easy enough. The image was, I'm going to be posting the image in the Facebook Glitter Ranch group. Okay, so you will be able to access that image, this image, so that you can upload it to your computer and ditto this cup. So I hope that helps. I hope you learned a little something, and we'll see you in the next. Okay, I'm going to go over how to print this. When I first started, I hadn't really measured the cup, and I thought the 3.5 would be right, but we just measured the cup, so I'm going to go with 3 inches here. Now, I'm going to show you how I print it. I'm not actually going to print it because I'm not going to waste this whole paper. I've got some other stuff that I've got to print, so I'm going to show you what I do, and then I will see you on after I print it and applying it on the cup. So when we continue here, we're going to send to our printer. Now I have a HP computer Windows programming HP printer. So if this does not apply, I mean, if you have something else, but I'm just trying to show you just to kind of show you the steps. Maybe you could find the basic types of steps with your particular program or computer. So I'm going to go ahead and add the bleed because we're going to cut each one of these little pieces separately. But I'm also going to click this use system dialog. Okay. Now when we do that, it's going to bring up this. Now I'm going to go in here to preferences, and I am going to do photo paper because I'm using printable vinyl, and it just gives you a much, it understands that it's printing on something other than paper, you know. And then I'm going to do best, and that is going to give me, no pun intended, but the best quality. So, and then I'm going to hit print, but I'm not going to print this right now because I'm going to use the paper. I'm going to do some other things, but then you would hit print, and then it would print out, and then I will see you at the Cricut to show you how I put it on there. Also, you want to use printable vinyl, if that's what you're using, printable vinyl. And I wouldn't do more pressure, only if you just know your blade is really needs to be changed, you know, then maybe put some more pressure. But it's really, this pressure is plenty that I've found out. I've never really had to use more pressure. So anyways, just wanted to add.
Okay, I wanted to go over how you measure the cup and see. I have one of these I've done sewing and stuff like that, so but it's easy. That way you can wrap it around the cup and measure and that kind of thing. We're just going to look right here, and we're going to go about 3 inches. I think 3 inches is a good amount, where that way you're not getting too far over on each side. So that's basically how I measure the cup. These are pretty cheap. You can get them at Hobby Lobby, Joann's, Michael's, anywhere. So that's how I measure that. So then we will go over the printing and all that, and I'll be back. Okay, I'm just going to show you a little quick tip. See, I filled this up, so I'm just printing this for this cup, but I went ahead and printed some logos, and then this is another cup that I'm working on. So this is what I try to do. If I'm only doing something small like this, I'll do my logos, just to, you know, I hate wasting stuff, and this stuff is expensive. So then I take just a clear piece of tape, and I just go right over that black mark right there. It helps keep this, like the machine, I don't know why, but it helps. I used to never do this, and then I started doing it, and I have gotten such better results with the cutting and everything. So I just take it like that. It also helps it keep it on the everything on the mat, because these mats are always getting unstuck, so, or not so sticky. So we're going to cut this out, and then we will apply this. Okay, we have the printout here, and so what I'm going to do is I have sanded wherever I needed to sand on the cup. For some reason there was like a spot, maybe I didn't rub the epoxy down enough. I'm not exactly sure, but so I sanded around just wherever I needed. I also did my rim. I used a Dremel tool. If y'all are interested in how this works and sanding the edges, this is a lifesaver. I got this for Christmas, and I am over the moon because I get tendonitis in my hands and or in my wrist too. So anyways, I have had some issues with like sanding all that down. So the Dremel tool is perfect. I use a face shield, and then I just go outside and just around the edge, and it's perfect. It gives you that perfect little edge there. So anyways, we're going to apply these on here, and then we'll go into how I let it sit, and then we put a little Mod Podge, and then we'll be ready for that, hopefully our final coat, if everything goes okay. But you want to make sure that you do your edge, you sand, you do everything that you need, because once you put this on here, that's it. You're not really going to be able to do very much sanding or washing it or that kind of thing. So make sure you feel around, make sure there's nowhere else on the cup that feels like you might want to sand it down. So do all of that before you do this, hopefully, final step before the final coat. Okay, I have some coffee filters here. I have a little bit of alcohol. I am going to clean this. Coffee filters are the best thing for cleaning your cup. They don't have fuzz. For the most part, they're pretty. So, since this is just one plain color, I'm just going to do it on the side that is not sanded. So we just have a nice clean little spot there. So, you can't do transfer paper on this because the, it would take off the ink or whatever. So what we're going to do is we're going to peel each one of these, and we're going to start with one, okay? And as long as, let me see here, we did not get a good cut on this, so I'm going to see if I can peel this up. We just have to start with one, and then we can get it lined up from there. Okay, I'm going to cut this just a tad bit. Just ever so slightly. Okay, so we're going to put that one on, get it as straight as we can. Okay, and then we are going to do our big heart. We're going to have to, so this is what I was talking about, doing the bleed. If you didn't have the bleed on, then you would have no red. It would just be white. So at least a little bit of that red makes it a little bit better. Okay, then we're going to put this one on like that. Okay, and we're going to put our little love sticker on top. Like that. Then our care, and the yellow is good enough there. I'm going to just leave it and put that there like that. This is easy enough. This probably did not cut as good as it could have, or it might cut for yours. I have calibrated my machine so many times and nothing good, and it has never worked. So, okay. And then we're going to do the wow. Wow, I love you so much. Okay, so that is our cute little concept cup with our little hearts that are trailing up. We're going to put our logo on the bottom, and then we're going to cover it in Mod Podge, and then we will be ready for our final coat. One quick little tip I wanted to go over. If you do a full little rounded logo on the bottom, just take a pen. This is my little weeding tool, but I just kind of poke little holes in here to make sure that there's no air bubbles, because I have finalized a cup many times, and there's like a little bubble, and then you can feel it in the epoxy. So, and then you got to pop it and put another coat. So I just I just kind of, and you can't see the little pinpricks when you do it. So just a little quick little tip. Okay, just a bit of a recap. We have put our emojis on here. I put my logo on the bottom, and we have put a coat of Mod Podge. I did not take the Mod Podge all the way to the edge because we left that metal, that exposed tumbler here. We removed the epoxy from here to give us that edge so that the epoxy can attach to that stainless steel cup. So, but we are pretty much ready to go with our final coat of epoxy. I'm hoping it's a final coat. Sometimes things don't go the way you planned and you got to put another one on, but at this point I have the original coat with the glitter, and then I have another coat where we put the hearts on, and then I put another coat on top of that. Then we put our emojis on. Then I put the coat of Mod Podge. And so at this point, we've pretty much put probably enough epoxy to where if you put this final coat on and it goes on perfect, then you should be good to go once it's cured to sell it. So you could theoretically get this done in a few days. It's a fun, cute cup. You could easily put a name on the back if they wanted. But this is just a simple little cup. This is something they could carry around all year. It's not too Valentine's-y, but it does say Valentine's and love and that kind of thing. So I'm excited. I'm going to show just putting that last coat of epoxy on, and then the next will be just the pictures that I take of it and the little motion videos that we take. But if you do make this, make sure you go to the Glitter Ranch group on Facebook. I will have the link below. And just post and show us what you do with it. You could also use a pink or in any color that you wanted and add these hearts. I think it would be a lot of fun. Maybe even white. Anyways, thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next one.